What's up, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. It is me, Kiera, and we are in the new year, and things are changing, things are different. I got some updates, I got some advice, I got some good news. Listen, I'm coming with all the details today, okay? So the main purpose of this video today is to give you an update on how it's been going 10 whole months without gluten, without dairy, without egg. Now, if you've been following my journey, you know a little bit of background about why this had to happen. If you don't know, then just go ahead and just scroll through some older videos and you'll see, okay? As I've already stated in previous videos, me changing my diet has resulted in me having less anxiety, less depression, less bloating. I was able to lose over 40 pounds. I was able to stop having those crazy headaches that I was having from gluten and just having so much inflammation in the body. I was able to have easier periods. I was able to get more clarity and more focus in my mind. I was able to do things that I actually enjoy, like spend time doing things that was fun. There's just so many benefits that I have experienced from cutting these things out of my diet for the past 10 months. And I'm ready to take it to the next level, like really focus on different goals because I was able to gain so much knowledge. It's been opening up so many different doors for me and so many other opportunities. And also the ability to help y'all out because I know it's not easy and I know where you are if you have been struggling to lose weight, but you just feel like you can't do it. You can't cut the stuff out. You can't be consistent in the gym. You just don't know what to do. You're concerned about your symptoms and all of that good stuff. Well, that's why you got me, okay? First of all, when you are going to change your diet, you need to change your diet slowly. Don't ever cold turkey. Don't just jump into a new diet because that is how you end up binging and you end up failing whatever it is that you're trying to do. So when you think about changing your diet, think about making a lifestyle change. If you want to consume less calories, start by trying to make your plates a little bit smaller. Whatever you eat on a regular basis that's causing you to gain weight or not lose weight, take it down a notch, right? Focus on the caloric intake first because too many calories means too many pounds. It means too many fat pounds. After you focused on reducing how much you eat, that is then when you can focus on what you're eating because that is also important. I know a lot of people say to lose weight, all you have to do is be in a caloric deficit. Well, you can be in a caloric deficit eating trash, right? You could eat 2,000 calories worth of donuts, which we know is not good for you. But if you're burning more than 2,000 calories per day, that still means you're in a caloric deficit, right? So it is important what you are consuming because a lot of times different foods can raise your cortisol levels, which means that you are packing on more pounds. You are gaining fat. That first week, focus on reducing how much you're eating because if you're overeating, you're gaining weight. After you've done that for a week or two, focus on what you're eating. If you love to eat snacks, try to focus on the snacks that say no added sugars. Again, this all depends on where you are in your journey. Some people are really focusing on the quality of the foods that they eat. You have vegans, you have pescatarians, you have vegetarians, but depending on where you are in your journey, this may look very different from you. But the whole point of me saying this is letting you know to start very small and to gradually change your diet, gradually change your routine. Because again, if you say, all right, next week, I'm gonna start my diet. I ain't gonna eat no cakes, cookies, pies, no pop, no juice. I ain't gonna do no pizza. I ain't gonna do this. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna cut everything cold turkey and I'm gonna go to the gym 5 days a week. You probably gonna last about 4 days before your body, for one, start to have withdrawal symptoms and you start to have these headaches and you start to just experience all of these different symptoms of just changing your diet like that. And then you're going to give up, right? Listen, I have done this a gazillion times already, all right? So trust me, I know what it feels like to say, I'm going to do this 21-day challenge and it's going to change my life and I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to be looking good and fine and do, okay? And do. But let another 21 days pass on by and I've reverted back to my old ways because it was something that I could not maintain. If you are on a diet that you cannot maintain for the rest of your life, you are on the wrong diet. As far as going to the gym and working out, I did talk about this in a previous video as well. You just want to focus on getting in there as much as you can initially. Me personally, for 2 weeks, I went to the gym 1 day out of the week. For the next 2 weeks, I went for 2 days. And for the next 2 weeks, I increased it to 3 Next 2 weeks, I increased it to 4 until I was up to 5 days a week in the gym. Because again, it's not realistic to say, next week I'm start going to the gym 5 days a week and you ain't worked out in the past 3 years. That makes no sense. You will burn out. It is not good for you to jump into a routine like that. So you want to set yourself up for success and not failure. So do not feel pressured. Do not compare your journey to the next person's journey, because our lives look very different. We are all at different levels in life. And if you want to succeed, focus on you being your only competition. A lot of us are at war with our inner thoughts. A lot of us are at war with temptation. And once we conquer that, that is when we will begin to see changes happening, okay? So again, stop looking left and looking right. Just look straight ahead at what it is that you're doing to change your life and make it easy on yourself, right? Loving yourself is really understanding that, hey, I am a person. I wouldn't make someone else do what I'm trying to force myself to do, because it makes no sense. So think about being gracious with yourself. As far as symptoms, I did talk about those already, but some of those symptoms used to send me to the ER. Again, if you watch my old content, you pretty much know what I'm talking about. I did hear a doctor talking about how gluten is intolerant for most people. Okay, so I thought, like, what's wrong with me? Why I can't eat no more gluten? A lot of people can't. Okay, everybody, again, is just at different stages of their life, and maybe it's just not that intolerable to other people. But for me, it's a no-no. It does cause heart palpitations in my body. Having heart palpitations and depression were the two main symptoms that really affected my livelihood. It made me not want to be productive. It just brought a lot of sadness to my life, because again, it just brought me to a point where I didn't want to do anything. Like, it made me immobile. As far as finding the motivation to stay on this diet, it is really the fact that I wasn't happy. That's one of the main things, but also not wanting to acquire any diseases, because I was consuming foods that was inflaming me, and inflammation is where a lot of disease starts. And I know that that's not what I want for myself, right? And there are a lot of people in the world that say, well, the food is just too good. I'll never give up cheese. I'll never give up, sugar. I'll never give up gluten. Fine. I mean, that's your life and that's your business. That has nothing to do with me. But I'm the opposite. I'm the type of person that says, well, if this could possibly harm me in the future, colon cancers, which is on the rise for people in my age group, having like ulcerative colitis, inflammatory bowel disease, getting ulcers, not being able to have children because there's just so much inflammation, like that matters to me, right? I know it probably doesn't matter to some people who are living in the moment, but that's just not how I operate. And so that is the motivation for me, because I want to feel well. I want to be able to do things. I want to be able to live my life. I want to be able to smile. I want to be able to get up and not feel so sluggish and sad in the morning, because the foods are affecting my nerves and my brain, and the way that my brain sends signals, and my emotions and my hormones. That's the hugest one. It changes your hormones even to be eating foods that are bad for you, foods that you are intolerant to day in and day out. You got to remember that I've been eating like this since I've been eating food in general, right? And so it kind of saddens me that I know that there's possible damage somewhere in my body, right? And I know this because I also mentioned in another video that one day I had vomited BLOOD, and my doctor told me that it was because I had so much acid that it was damaging the lining in my esophagus, right? And so that's a problem, because if you're doing that all the time, that's where ulcers come from. That's where disease comes from. That's where you start to ruin your body, and you start to run the risk of all the other things that I mentioned before. So that is the motivation for me, wanting to just be healthy and live well and live long. And again, I know some people, that doesn't matter to some people. I've had many conversations with people that are just like, I don't know how you do it. I could never give up this. I could never give up that. I understand. I had an aunt who was very sick and needed oxygen, and she would still be smoking her cigarettes on the oxygen machine. So I understand human nature. I do understand it. But I'm just saying, for me and for those of you who really want to change your life, your health and your purpose is much more important to you than feeding the flesh and being tempted all the time and giving into that temptation. If that part of it is important to you, then you are in the right place. And then my announcement that I wanted to make, child, was that I got a cookbook coming out. And if you are trying to live this gluten-free life, like if you want in on this life, honey, be on the lookout for the cookbook. It is coming soon. I have gotten a lot of requests for it, and it's almost done. But thanks so much for watching. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with your loved ones, because we changing lives out here, okay?